the Apostle Paul in Romans chapter 8 verse 31, if God be for us, who can be against us? And you know, we had doors right there. We know today we can walk up to a building and the doors will open in front of us. These were the first self-opening doors in history. Praise God. There is only, let's just back up here for a moment. There is only one thing that can destroy the plan of God in your life, and that is you yourself. Not by mistakes you make, not by falling and getting up again. We can resist the Spirit of God, resist His will in our lives, resist the laying of our lives before Him as a living sacrifice, and then the will of God for our lives will be hindered until we submit to Him. If we do those things, it doesn't mean that God's will won't be done, but it will not be done until we are willing to submit to His will, and we will continue to go in circles. Praise God. Verse 12, and when he had considered the thing, what thing? The prison break, he came to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose surname was Mark, where many were gathered together praying. Who knows what time this is? Middle of the night, early hours of the morning. It appears, though, that Peter knew exactly where to come. Mary was the sister of Barnabas, and it appears this family were a family of some means. They were fairly wealthy. The home was large enough to be used as a meeting place for the people of God, and so they were gathered together in prayer, praying for the imprisoned Peter. Verse 13, and as Peter knocked at the door of the gate, a damsel came to hearken, named Rhoda. Some translations of the Bible call Rhoda a serving girl or a maid. It appears she may have been, although we do not know for sure. The only indication we have that she may have been is in verse 15, where she is told by those gathered that she was mad. That does not appear to be something one would say to their own peers. Praise God. Let's go on to verse 14. And when she knew Peter's voice, she opened not the gate for gladness, but ran in and told how Peter stood before the gate. Have you ever opened the door to a knock and been so shocked, surprised, and thrilled as to who was standing there, that you turned around and ran away to share the news with others, leaving them standing on the doorstep? No doubt Rhoda had not opened the door. She would not, without first affirming who was on the other side. These times were too dangerous, and especially in the middle of the night, to just open the door to an unexpected knock. But when she called out, asking who was there, upon hearing Peter's voice, she left him there and ran back to the others. Verse 15, and they said unto her, Thou art mad. But she constantly affirmed that it was even so. Then said they, It is his angel. Verse 16, but Peter continued knocking, and when they had opened the door and saw him, they were astonished. Verse 17, but he, beckoning unto them with the hand to hold their peace. I can imagine everybody was talking at once. He declared unto them how the Lord had brought him out of prison. And he said, Go, show these things unto James. Go and tell James and to the brethren. And he departed and went into another place. Peter was eventually let in. We're a little bit out of time. Let's just finish this little bit up here and we will end for today. Peter was eventually let in, his arrival causing quite a stir. He held up his hand in an attempt to get them to be quiet for a moment so he could explain how he had come to be out of prison. He gave instructions that they would let James and the other apostles know. Now this James, we know one James, the brother of John, has been killed with the sword. It is believed that this James, of whom he spoke, was the pastor of the church in Jerusalem, and also the half-brother of Jesus and the brother of Jude. He is also the writer of the Epistle of James. He appears in a leadership position in Jerusalem during the early days of the church. It is here that Peter disappears off the scene, and we read only very little of him again in the book of Acts. Much of his ministry has been completed, although it is assumed he continued to minister, especially to those of the circumcision, the Jews. The main thrust of his ministry, though, has been completed as he opened the door of salvation to both Jews and Gentiles, having been entrusted by Jesus with this work. The Lord has saved him, brought him out of prison. He fades off the scene, at least to our eyes, but there is no doubt that his work continues. God bless you.